You're watching The Morning Show. Don't go away. Well, Mexico is one of the global hotspots for unexplained phenomena. This week, a cloud halo appeared in the skies, causing locals to dive for their mobiles and cameras. But it's just the latest sighting in what's been an interesting few months in UFO circles. First, a clip of a suspicious cloud formation above Moscow had YouTube users worldwide hitting replay. That was in October. It was kind of like Independence Day. That is a clip from the movie, not actually Moscow.
I was going to say that camera.
Just so we're clear.
That's an excellent camera phone, that one. Then there were two more unusual occurrences just weeks later, rather. This sight was caught on camera by Norwegians convinced they were witnessing a wormhole, and another, an unexplained object filmed hovering over Red Square for hours and hours.
So what's causing all this unusual activity? Are we closer to what UFO enthusiasts call first contact from another life form? We're joined by two men with a bit of research under their belts in this department. In the studio with us is Bill Chalker, a UFO researcher, and in Melbourne, Dr. Martin Plowman, a UFO historian. Welcome, gentlemen. First off, Bill, what's your take on the amateur vision of the cloud halo?
Oh, well, I think it's a great example of a meteorological phenomenon. It's basically a cloud, but why it's interesting is that there was a major case at Chicago Airport back in 2006 where a UFO punched a hole in the cloud. So that's why that vision's interesting, but it doesn't appear to be UFO related.
You think that's just a cloud?
Yes, essentially.
Not a cloud with a hole punched in it from a UFO?
I don't think so. No UFOs seen at this stage.
OK. Now, you've spent years and years researching this, writing books on the subject of UFOs. Have you ever seen a UFO?
Yes, I saw one while I was at the University of New England at Armidale, etc., and other people saw it as well. It was an egg-shaped metallic thing in daylight and under circumstances where we could readily rule out balloons, aircraft, that kind of thing. So it was pretty unusual, but certainly not as interesting as some of the cases I've investigated.
Well, if you believe there are other life forms out there, what physical evidence should we be demanding as believers or non-believers?
Well, I'm a strong advocate of doing sort of a scientific investigation of the subject. This is a real mystery that screams out for a scientific investigation, and I've looked at physical evidence, that kind of thing, done sort of DNA analysis of even a so-called alien hair sample, which turned out to be extraordinarily provocative, so much so that I was asked to write a book on it, which I did, and you know, it's certainly indicated that we're dealing with something extremely interesting, and even in some of the strangest cases like alien abductions, there is the potential to gather scientific evidence.
Where'd you get the hair from?
It was from a Sydney alien abduction case that occurred in 1992, and we conducted DNA work during the late 1990s and in the early part of 2000, 2001, and it's been a pretty remarkable investigation that's undertook a lot of interesting kind of follow-ups.
Who knew aliens had hair? That's the big thing. Martin, let's bring Martin in for a sec. Now, you've spoken to people all over the world who state they've sighted UFOs or aliens. What are you thinking about this cloud formation?
Yeah, I think it's definitely just a cloud formation. I mean, it's a very impressive looking one. And I've been to Mexico City. There's a lot of strange things happening there all the time. It's quite an amazing place. It's the size of Australia in terms of population. And I think it generates its own sort of interesting phenomena. But that's, I think, definitely a cloud formation. And I can imagine people freaking out. But I mean, I'm a skeptic, I guess. My sort of background is more academic. I've done a PhD in the history of UFOs, but I've never tried to set out to either prove or disprove the existence myself. But looking at that, I would say that's just meteorological phenomena going on.
Well, Martin, as an academic, what does it take to convince you? We've seen Bill's hair sample that he's been doing some work on. What will it take to convince you?
Look, I mean, the thing is, I'm a fairly open-minded skeptic too. I don't believe in the theories of ufology. I think there's a difference between believing in whether life might exist on other planets and whether it's coming here in a spacecraft itself. And that's the difference, I think, also the sort of question between saying, do you believe in God and do you believe in there being something else out there? I think there is life out there, but I'm not sure if it's coming here in that spaceship that you're showing there.
All right, Bill, let me ask you this quickly. You took part in the 1966 Tully Nest Affair investigation. Right now, witness claims seeing a flying saucer take off, and later an imprint was found in the same spot. Was that the first of the crop circles that we hear more and more about?
No, the crop circles in Britain particularly, no, they're really a sort of much more modern phenomenon and more about sort of human art and that kind of thing in crop fields. You know, the Tully nest was a classic example of a UFO landing case where there was lots of physical evidence. A UFO was seen rising up from the lagoon, and I've spoken to the witnesses, and it was just quite an extraordinary case, very compelling physical evidence. And this is just one of literally thousands of cases worldwide like this.
Okay, Bill Chalker and Dr. Martin Plowman in Melbourne, thank you both for your time this morning.
Not a problem.
Thanks, gentlemen.
I've been to Mexico, drunk too many Coronas, and I think I've seen that stuff. If you
It's over Cambertown. It's a strange light. I'm shaking. It's early morning. You can see the lights on the top of a Cambertown. On that light, it's very strange. Early morning. I'm shaking. I have no idea what is it. You can see that the lights on the top of my Cambertown. The lights it's no moon. And they're back again. A little bit further. That's a full zoom. Have a look now. No sunrise, nothing. It's early morning. What is it? Now it disappeared slowly. Hegy van ott valami. I taped them. It was like that. This time it was there. On this side. I saw them a strange object just right there. And after I taped them, it was like that. This time it was there. On this side. I saw them a strange object just right there. And after